When a chosen one ignores divine warnings and spiritual nudges, the consequences can be far more dangerous than they appear on the surface. Every message from God carries purpose, timing, and protection, and when it is overlooked or dismissed, it creates openings for harm to slip into areas of life that were meant to remain safeguarded. Many times, what feels like a simple gut feeling, a sudden uneasiness, or an unshakable thought is not random, but a spiritual signal alerting you of what is ahead. Ignoring it is like walking blindfolded on a path where traps have already been laid in advance, and the enemy waits for that one moment of disobedience to strike. This is why chosen ones often face heavier attacks, because they carry destinies too powerful to be left unguarded. The consequences of ignoring divine nudges can manifest in various forms. Sometimes it is the wrong relationship that was never meant to happen, but it continues because the warning was ignored. Other times, it is a missed opportunity that could have shifted a person's life dramatically. But doubt and hesitation silenced the divine push. There are also dangers more subtle, like staying in the wrong environment where negative energy drains your spirit, simply because the sign to leave was not taken seriously. For chosen ones, such delays and mistakes are never small, because every decision carries weight in shaping the bigger picture of their destiny. The enemy knows that if he can cause you to ignore God's voice, he can interfere with the very timing of your blessings. There is also a spiritual cost when chosen ones repeatedly neglect divine instruction. The heart grows dull, the spirit grows restless, and confusion replaces clarity. This is why many feel stuck, as though doors are shut and prayers remain unanswered. But in reality, it is the lack of obedience that has caused the blockage. Divine warnings are not given to limit freedom, but to protect and guide. And when they are pushed aside, chosen ones unknowingly step into situations that were designed to break their strength. The heaviness, the unnecessary battles, and the cycles of pain could often be avoided if the voice of God had been honored in the first place. Chosen ones are targeted precisely because of their importance to God's plan. Their calling, their light, and their influence carry the power to impact many lives, which means any misstep caused by ignoring warnings does not just affect them, but ripples outward. This is why the enemy works overtime to cloud judgment and make divine nudges feel like doubt or fear, tricking chosen ones into brushing off what they should pay attention to. Every time they ignore a warning, the enemy gains a foothold, and the consequences can range from delays and setbacks to dangerous encounters that were never meant to happen. God communicates in ways that are often subtle, yet deeply profound. And chosen ones are especially sensitive to these forms of divine communication. When you are marked with a calling, ordinary signs carry extraordinary meaning. A dream may not just be a random sequence of images, but a spiritual message encoded with warnings or directions. A sudden shift in circumstances may not be coincidence, but divine intervention. Redirecting your steps before harm can touch you. These are not random events. They are God's methods of speaking to those He has set apart. For chosen ones, recognizing these signals is critical because ignoring them means missing the very guidance designed to protect, elevate, and align their destiny with its divine purpose. Dreams are among the most common channels of communication. They can reveal hidden enemies, upcoming dangers, or even opportunities that are about to manifest. Often, chosen ones wake up with visions they cannot shake, yet dismiss them as imagination. What seems insignificant in the moment may hold deep spiritual meaning, and failure to interpret or act on it can result in walking straight into situations that could have been avoided. Dreams are like coded letters from heaven, sent in the quiet hours of rest when distractions are minimized and the spirit is most open. They serve as early warnings or confirmations, urging chosen ones to pay attention before it is too late. Signs in the physical world are another way God speaks. Repeated patterns, unusual encounters, sudden blockages, or even strangers delivering unexpected words can all serve as divine nudges. The chosen ones often experience synchronicities that feel too precise to be accidents because they are not. They are God's way of guiding, affirming, or cautioning. For example, delays that frustrate in the moment might actually be divine protection from unseen danger ahead. A relationship falling apart suddenly could be the removal of a person who would have hindered spiritual growth. The chosen one who is attentive will notice these patterns and understand that they are not coincidences, but messages carrying divine intent. Sudden shifts in life also act as God's communication, even when they feel uncomfortable. Losing a job, being moved to a new place, or experiencing a drastic change can feel like disruption. But for chosen ones, it is often divine repositioning. God closes doors to prevent chosen ones from walking into environments that would corrupt their spirit or derail their mission. At times, He opens unexpected doors to align them with new opportunities, mentors, or paths that were necessary for the next stage of growth. While such shifts can bring uncertainty, they are rarely without purpose. The chosen one who discerns them as divine direction will embrace the change rather than resist it, knowing it is part of a greater plan. God's communication is rarely loud, but it is consistent. He whispers through intuition, sends warnings through dreams, aligns paths through signs, and redirects through shifts. The chosen one's responsibility is to stay sensitive, prayerful, and discerning, so that these divine messages are not overlooked. Ignoring them can lead to unnecessary battles, but honoring them unlocks clarity, safety, and alignment with the destiny written long before birth. The protection, strength, and breakthroughs that come from obedience to God's voice cannot be compared to anything the world offers. When chosen ones align themselves with divine instruction, they activate a covering that shields them from dangers seen and unseen. God's voice is not just guidance, it is a fortress. Many of the battles chosen ones face are not won by their strength, but by their obedience. The simple act of listening and following God's direction creates a hedge of protection that the enemy cannot penetrate. This is why those who obey find themselves delivered from accidents they never knew were coming, protected from betrayals they never saw, and lifted out of situations that were designed to destroy them. Obedience is not a burden, it is a weapon of survival beyond protection. Obedience to God's voice unlocks supernatural strength. Chosen ones often feel called to carry more than they believe they can bear. Yet the strength comes not from themselves, but from the power that flows through alignment. When God says move and the chosen one moves, there is a divine empowerment that fuels endurance and resilience. This strength is not natural, but spiritual, the kind of strength that allows someone to keep standing after storms that would have broken anyone else. It is the reason why chosen ones are often underestimated, because their strength does not come from human ability, but from obedience that keeps them in the flow of divine power. Without obedience, that strength weakens, but with it, even the greatest challenges become stepping stones. Obedience also ushers in breakthroughs that cannot be achieved through human effort alone. Many doors remain closed until the chosen one takes the step God has instructed. Sometimes the key to a long-awaited blessing is hidden in a single act of faith, a single moment of trust in God's voice. What may seem like a small instruction speaking to someone, leaving a place, sowing into a cause, or stepping into the unknown, can be the very thing that shifts everything. Breakthroughs are often tied to obedience because it proves trust, and trust is the foundation of receiving God's promises. The chosen one who obeys positions themselves under the flow of blessings that others cannot access because they are not willing to listen. Obedience is also what keeps chosen ones aligned with their true identity and calling. In a world full of distractions, temptations, and counterfeit paths, God's voice is the compass. Every time a chosen one chooses obedience, they affirm their connection to divine purpose. That connection is what keeps them grounded when the storms rage, what lifts them when despair tries to pull them under? And what keeps their vision clear when confusion surrounds them? The voice of God is the anchor, and obedience to it ensures that no matter how violent the winds, the chosen one will not be lost. This is why ignoring God's voice is so dangerous, and why obeying it is so powerful. Obedience is not just about rules, it is about protection, empowerment, and destiny. When chosen ones obey, they are not just following instructions. They are stepping into divine flow where battles are fought for them, where strength is multiplied, and where breakthroughs await. And in the end, it is their obedience that will separate them from the rest, proving that they were not only chosen, but faithful enough to carry the weight of their calling until the very end. Thank you for giving your time, your heart, and your spirit to receive this message. May it be a light for you in the days ahead, a reminder that you are never walking alone, and a call to honor the voice that is guiding you. Stay strong, stay faithful, and remember, you are chosen for a reason. God bless you, and until we meet again, remain obedient, remain vigilant.